What's up, you monkeys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna climb the hardest grades in the gym, going from some tricky V8 dynos to some super physical moves on this V12 boulder. So stay until the end because you're about to see some pretty freaky movements in this gym. So without further ado, let's start with the first boulder. For the first boulder, we have a V8 with a pretty straightforward paddle. So technically, we're not supposed to stop on any of these holds. But for my first attempt, I decided that I was gonna completely break this paddle and go statically, because I was scared of not getting the paddle and not flashing the boulder. But obviously, I still wanted to do it the right way.
Allez, je veux voir un gros paddle là.
So second boulder, we have this dyno V8 that you supposedly have to catch the toe hook, but I was too dumb to do that. But on my second attempt, I learned from my mistakes and I just put that toe hook, which was crazy good.
Oh, come on, come on, come on. Elle est bonne, elle est bonne.
Alright, let's move on to the real boulders. We are now hopping on this V11 boulder, which was full of crimps and slopers, located at the steep part of the gym, which was around 50 to 55 degrees. Of course, I wanted to flash this boulder. It looked like my style, you know, full of crimps. And the holds surprisingly didn't look too bad. So the real issue for me on my flash was finding the right beta.
Allez mec.
So the start was not too much of an issue, but at this point it was a little more tricky. So on my second attempt, I just went for the crimp with the toe hook, and it turns out that this next move was even harder with the intended beta, so it was not working out.
Nice.
So knowing that that wouldn't work and I had to find something else, I just started from the ground, and I had a better break in mind that I knew was gonna work. Moving on to a slopey V10 boulder. These holes were dog. So for my flash attempt, I tried to do the intended beta, but I knew that it was gonna be hard to hold on into these very bad holds. We weren't sure if that was the real beta or not, but it was definitely not working. So Gabriel and me tried something completely different, which was 100% breaking the beta.
Arrête de casser tous les blocs là.
Next boulder. This V12 was set by the head route setter, so before going into the gym, I asked him if there was some hard boulders in the gym, and he made sure that we had something to work on. So huge thanks to him for setting this boulder. For now, let's watch my first attempt. I won't lie, at first we thought this was a little soft for V12. The boulder was of course really long and super physical, but the beginning section was not super hard, but we realized that they made that on purpose. The real crux was after that. After our first attempt, we kind of just tried this move isolated, and it turned out to be super hard, making it a V10 move individually. But after a couple of attempts, we got the move isolated. But then I realized that the next move was as hard as the previous one. So those two single moves explained a lot on why this boulder was V12. Two consecutive moves that are probably V10 is definitely a challenge after doing a whole V9 in the ground. However, Gabriel and me found out this heel hook that made this move just a little easier to hold. So finally, having done every single move in this boulder, we started it from the ground and hoped we could get the full link. And yeah, every single try from the ground, we were falling and falling and falling again. But then, even after all those tries, this try happened. I was so close to sticking that move, and I had chances of getting the boulder even though the next move was hard. With a good heel hook, it was definitely possible. But oh well, that was my best attempt, and I just moved on to the next boulder. This V9 had a very particular first move. I personally call it the shoulder destroyer, because you basically have to reverse your hand and just commit to that hold. And after that brutal first move, it gets a little more technical. You see here, I'm reaching my way up and realized that it was dumb to do that, so I went back down and obviously just lifted my hand to be closer to the next hold. And for this last move, there is two ways of doing it, and my first method did not work. It was actually the intended beta, but it was a little risky from the ground. So instead, for the last move, you'll see another beta break that I did.
Yes!
So, final boulder, this V8 has a super cool coordination movement that Gabriel was trying to get, and it's not an easy move at all, since you have to think about lots of things. First, you have to reach that first hold that is barely holdable. Then, you have to bump the right hand into a press. And at the same time, you have to lift your left foot up to create the opposition. So there is definitely steps to this coordination that makes this movement super tricky. So he got the cool move, but then failed miserably the next section. For me, however, you're about to see the most elegant climbing. This is what peak climbing is supposed to be. Now that's my signature move. Completely reaching the move instead of doing the coordination movement. But you know what? I don't even care what you guys think. I'm just sorry for the route setters. Their intended beta was actually super cool and I just broke it. Anyways, that completes all of the boulder that I wanted to show you from my session. As always, thank you for watching my videos. You guys are, of course, the reason why this channel is growing. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment if you've liked this video. And I'll see you monkeys next time.
Tu marqué?